I'm back. That did not go as well as I expected. Anyway, today guys we're playing some guts and black powder. It definitely smells like guts and black powder. First one maybe. Oh, this guy infected. Oh no, these guys are infected, that's good. I thought I'd finally review this game after ages. Anyway, yeah, today we were playing got some black powder. Oh, these guys are smart. Oh, anyway, yeah guys, I made a video. Yeah, this is the whole map. Zombies spawned me too. Oh, here they are. You gotta defend against the whole zombies. There's a runner. Oh, another runner. Can get that one? Good. They're doing well. Oh, this guy's kind of dead. Okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Oh yeah. Oh, these guys are smart. They're defending both sides. Oh, that's good. And these guys are, yeah. Oh, it's not a lot of zombies actually. These guys are smart. They did well.
the attention of that ship over there. I can lower this platform and get us down there. Hold tight until I can bring this platform back up. Get on the platform!
Items within my collection.
mixed in so well with the Napoleonic era gunplay, which was based on Coder Qwerty's Blood and Iron gun system, which is another Roblox game that does take place in a more accurate Napoleonic warfare period. It's pretty well balanced and immersive, though obviously not without issue, especially with how confusing the game was at the start. There's also a pretty strange and maybe even extreme skill gate in the game, where some classes, like the priest class, are locked behind a very difficult and time-consuming list of prerequisites and the old guard regiment, but let's get on with it. Guts and Black Powder introduces players to a class and team selection screen, though team selection doesn't really matter and is mostly to contextually fit within the Napoleonic timeline of the game. Currently, the nations of Austria, Bavaria, Britain, Denmark, France, Portugal, Prussia, Russia, and Sweden are available to play in the game. The United States of America is also available, but they're locked to a Halloween exclusive map of Sleepy Hollows based on the story of Itchybot Crane. Obviously, teams are locked to certain maps, but it doesn't matter since, because of the story context, the nations are working together to stop the zombie hordes. Other nations such as the Duchy of Warsaw, Poland, and the Spanish Empire are planned to be included in future updates among other features. Each faction has their own regiment. This doesn't really impact gameplay aside from changing the uniform to that specific regiment, though some are locked behind game passes. Regiments doesn't actually change the gameplay whatsoever, and although there is a French cavalry regiment that's locked behind a game pass with a unique weapon, that specific weapon can be unlocked and used on any other regiment. The classes that are currently available in Guts and Black Powder are, firstly, the Line Infantry, which is the basic soldier that uses an unrealistically accurate musket armed with bayonets that deal high damage but are unable to slash multiple enemies at once, compared to their standard saber melee weapon. The officer class are armed with a pistol and given the ability to call a charge attack after filling its meter, boosting melee damage and speed of everyone around you. The Seaman is intended to be the crowd control of the team, equipped with blunderbusses, equivalent to shotguns that can clear out a horde of zombies quite effectively, but it does take longer to reload than the regular musket and also lacks a bayonet. The Musician is a support class that can buff teammates' reloading speed with their default fifes, but have no access to firearms and are armed with a melee weapon. The Sapper is an engineer archetype with a melee focus that builds fortifications designed to block the zombies' progress as long as possible. Their melee weapon, by default, is the powerful axe, which can instantly kill zombies by normal means and also shove them back, though it does have a long wind-up time and also swinging time compared to regular classes. There are also, quote, specialist classes such as the Surgeon and the Priest. The Surgeon is a healing class with no firearms and only a saber, but are readily able to heal teammates with medical supplies. They pick up supplies by killing zombies, who may drop them and can place down a box of bandages if there's an appropriate amount of supplies available for it. Priest is a support class that's locked behind an achievement, requiring players to obtain it before getting the Priest. They're able to ward off zombies with a crucifix and bless infected soldiers, curing them of their infection. However, the priests are the weakest in the game in terms of raw power, as their only means of self-defense, aside from the crucifix, is a weak wooden stake. Their crucifix and blessing, however, compensate their inability to defend themselves properly by being able to reliably keep teammates away from dying of infection and creating a temporary fuck you shield against zombies. Even with the equipment differences like Line Infantry, Officer, and Seaman being the only classes who can use a gun, the other classes, left with just melee weapons, still have unique support roles that can make a team's composition almost unstoppable, especially in campaign. Almost every class has the ability to change and customize their limited loadouts, which is accessible through the shop menu in the upper left corner. The shop provides players with different weapons that can completely change a playstyle or make their lives easier. Some of the different equipment includes the carbine for the Line Infantry, a faster but weaker musket, the pike, a spear-like weapon that changes the Line Infantry from having an accurate rifle to a relatively long-range melee class, the knock gun, a 8-barrel gun that fires all rounds at once, which takes a really long time to reload.
Nope, time to spend another 50 years reloading.
The hand axe, available for the Line Infantry and Seaman class as a stronger variation of the default saber, but is weaker against a specific zombie. The drum and bugle for the Musician class buffs melee swings and gives an increase in damage respectively, but it does require timing and charge ups before usage respectively. It is situational like the fife, but it does prove its use in many cases. And finally, there is also a water bucket and grenades available, utility items for either clearing out fires or zombies. You can also customize your character's facial appearance, from accessories such as glasses and facial hair to blemishes like scars or freckles. Most of these customizations are locked behind Game Pass microtransactions, but I've paid for almost all of the Game Passes since I really want to see this game and its developers succeed. Plus, it doesn't really impact gameplay at all, so it's not like you're getting a pay-to-win advantage. Moving on, there are zombies, which comes in a few different types and makes the game more challenging to beat.
Wait, he's crawling? What on earth?
Some of the zombies include the Shambler, the basic zombie type who can grab players or scratch them. You can escape the grab, but if more than 2 zombies grab you, it's basically impossible to escape, and I guarantee instant kill if 4 more zombies grab you. The runner zombies are weak, but they're also fast. They can pin players on the ground in a single grab, and if the player isn't freed within a brief few seconds, the player will have the throat ripped out and instantly killed. Multiple runners can grab a player at a time, but how fast a runner can kill a player depends on how much health the player has left. Then there's the bomber zombies that carry massive barrels and usually wear red-colored shirts. Upon reaching a player, they will light their barrels fuse and explode, killing or damaging anyone nearby. They're incredibly dangerous in that any damage, even if it was a literal gust of wind, will instantly set their bomb off. The zombie sapper, or zapper, are former army sappers turned into zombies. They wield axes and are tougher to kill than shamblers and have damage resistance against the player's alternate hand axe melee weapon. Their axe deals around 70% damage against players, meaning it would take 2 hits for a player to die from a zapper.
Oh my god!
Although dangerous, they're slower than shamblers and bombers with a very long melee wind-up time and window to attack after they swing their axe, giving players ample time to kill them. Finally, there's the Igniter, who are severely burned zombies who had part of their rotting bodies literally melt off due to the heat. They carry an oil lantern that, once thrown, creates a ring of fire that can only be extinguished with a water bucket. There are 2 distinct game modes available in the game, exclusive to specific maps. The campaign game mode makes players fight through a map to achieve an end goal, mostly survive and push through hordes of zombies while accomplishing tasks. Endless, on the other hand, is an endless survival game mode where difficulty increases every wave, with zombies getting stronger. The current maps in the games, divided into 2 categories, are Catacombs de Paris, Huguemont, Cobb, La Ferme, the Saint map, Leipzig, San Sebastian, and Vardohas Fortress. There are also other maps that aren't available in the game by normal means, such as Sleepy Hollow, a Halloween exclusive map where you fight the Headless Horseman boss. That's pretty much all I have to say about Guts and Black Powder's gameplay. It's not super deep, but everything locks into place almost perfectly, with maps presenting immersive atmospheres through its audio visuals and lighting, and classes being balanced to the point where there's no such thing as a weak or strong class necessarily. Every class plays off a team dynamic that creates a sort of maybe unintentional harmony that, even if there was a bias towards a certain class, a team could still win even with a slight misbalance in which class is being played the most. Aside from the sapper, you basically cannot survive without at least one sapper on your team. There's also the hardcore mode, which changes various game mechanics to be even more difficult, such as infections being permanent and only removable by the priest class, and zombies gaining headshot resistance and their health increasing. That's about it, really. Here's the thing, I obviously love the game, which I did mention earlier. I think every class in the game is balanced to absolute perfection. Every one of them serves its purpose in a very coherent game structure, allowing room for a mixture of offensive and defensive team structure that, even when at their most disorganized, can still guarantee quick victories because of just how powerful every class is, even with their flaws. The one problem I do have with the class system though is that a lot of campaign maps hinges upon the existence of sappers, with a lot of campaign matches failing due to sappers dying too quickly, not having enough time to set up, or no one playing as them. The visuals of each map are strikingly distinct and unique. I only don't like how dark certain maps can get, like the Paris Catacombs, which just makes it difficult to help players who have been left behind or grabbed by zombies in the middle of crowds. It's incredibly hectic, but that's just a given for maps like Paris since it's very claustrophobic. There's also Cobb and Leipzig just having total zombie spawning overload, making disorganized team runs more likely to lose since not everyone plays on the same level, obviously. I don't quite understand why zombies spawn so much more often on Leipzig specifically, where the alleyways are tight and unforgivable enough and basically coming from every goddamn corner of the map, but in the finale, the spawns are much more reasonable and less oppressive. This is even compared to Paris Catacombs, where the map is obviously very tight and, like I said earlier, claustrophobic, but it's not as big as a problem even in the finale of the Paris map. Even San Sebastian's finale isn't that punishing as well. It's just that Leipzig and Cobb just has spawns way too many zombies, even when the players aren't close to finishing the map. Literally in the middle of Cobb and Leipzig, you're completely overrun by zombies, and I think it's not fair given how the challenge is meant to be escalating, like especially in the finale. I mean, I think it's good that the finale is the most challenging part of every campaign map, but I feel like Leipzig and Cobb just immediately boost the challenge up to maximum. Literally just in the middle of the gameplay. It's not fun. The endless game mode is something I don't really like, but that's mostly because of the escalating difficulty after wave 10 just feels too overwhelming. It's something that I can forgive since it does make endless something to take seriously instead of a get free 5 easy waves done without dying to get the French Old Guard regiment. But doing 35 waves of endless is a chore of itself, especially since you need to have a very organized team to even reach that far. If you don't have good sappers, good blunderbuss users, musicians, or hell, even a fucking priest, you're screwed on endless. Priest being locked behind a pretty grindy list of requirements also doesn't sit particularly well with me. I do get that priest is a somewhat of an advanced class that requires a bit of game knowledge compared to the others like surgeon and sapper, but I think priest unlock requirements are a bit too high and should be brought down slightly. It makes a sort of unfair skill gate to unlocking a pretty vital class to a team, forcing people, especially new players, to grind for a long time just to get the class. There's also an issue I have with the lack of a proper tutorial system for new players. If I recall correctly, you're sort of just shoved into the game firsthand without anything to help guide you. Obviously, being handheld 24/7 isn't a good thing in games, but that's not what I'm arguing. Give the players some pointers to get started, like a small window informing what each class does, or to briefly explain what the game modes are and how the guns work. It kind of feels like the game's working off of people's knowledge of Blood and Iron, which Guts and Black Powder's gun system is based on, as I mentioned earlier in the video. Which does make some level of confusion if new players have no idea what the hell a musket is, let alone this era's technology. Actually, do you see the trend?
Shit. I was recording. Fuck. Oh, I'm gonna leave it there, guys.